You see, I love books, but I also love K-dramas. And sometime last year, I was wondering why not bring my two loves together and start a series. And so I did. Welcome to the very first edition of Book to Drama. Hello, everybody. Nora back again. Yes, I decided to start a new series I'll be calling Book to Drama, where I basically talk about book tropes that I like or I enjoy or I really, really love, and K dramas that also meet those tropes and do them really well. It's just basically a series where I get to gush about the two of my greatest loves, and I hope you enjoy it. So, for today, the first episode of Book to Drama, I'll be talking about anti-heroes, which should be no surprise to anybody because I really, really love them. Okay, this is seeming very awkward because I have never really done this before, and this is my first attempt, so forgive me if I'm making a mess of it. So to get started, I will just go with the straight dictionary slash wiki definition of anti-heroes because I love the definition. It's just so apt. It says an anti-hero or anti-heroine is a main character in a story who lacks conventional heroic qualities and attributes such as idealism, courage, and morality. Although anti-heroes may sometimes perform actions that are morally correct, it is not always for the right reasons, often acting primarily out of self-interest or in ways that defy conventional ethical codes, which makes me so happy because this definition just basically explains that for an anti-hero to truly shine, they would have to be self-serving, morally grey. They have to have adequate character development, some psychological drama thrown into the mix, and of course, moral quandaries that they have to navigate. And that is what makes them so delicious because they are so complex. And I'm sorry if you're a fan of the hero, good for you. I have always been a fan of the anti-hero. Maybe it's the Slytherin in me, or maybe it's just me recognizing the fact that human beings are naturally selfish and self-serving, and the anti-hero is the epitome, that person that walks the perfect balance of what being human truly is. Because the villain is all bad, but not all humans are bad like the villain, and the hero is so good and so pure, but not every human is as good and pure as the hero. But the anti-hero, oh yes, we've met quite a few of them in real life. But here we're talking about anti-heroes in books and K-dramas. So let me just let you know exactly how it will work. Each episode of this series, I don't know how long I'm going to take it for because there's so many tropes I want to talk about and so many K-dramas and books I want to show my love. So um okay, so for each video I do in the book to drama series, I would have I'll take a trope and choose 3 books that meet that trope and 3 K-dramas that meet that trope, and I will talk about each of them and how they all play and how they work for me. So consider this also a some sort of recommendation for both books and K-dramas. Like I said, I'm giving you the best of both worlds because I think about you. I want what is good for you. And part of that is getting you to read like my favorite books and watch my favorite K-dramas. So please do so. So the very first anti-hero on this list, which should come as no surprise to anybody because we all know I'm complete trash for this girl, is Fangrunin of the Poppy War. Rain. How do I describe my love for this girl who started a story being a war orphan in one of the poorest settlements in the country, and who decides that she's not going to let her situation be dictated by others, nor is she going to sit down and settle and just let life happen to her, which is another thing I love about anti-heroes. They are such go-getters, because they are never satisfied and they always want more and they always believe that they deserve more. And Frangunin personifies this so beautifully, because we follow a trajectory from when she decides to leave a small settlement and go to the capital. And when the minute she enters England and was like, okay, she was going to prove herself, and she did, I was in love. No, what am I talking about? The minute she decided to burn herself with wax in order to study so she can pass those KGU exams and make it to the top academy and use that as a way out of her situation, I was in love. And then she got to Singard and she was just blowing everybody away. They underestimated her. Every time they mocked her and humiliated her, she used that to channel her rage and just continue scaling by. And when you start when you start the Poppy War, and when you start following Rin on her journey, you think she's going to be the stereotypical YA protagonist, in the sense that maybe she's a reluctant hero, or maybe she's just, she's going to eventually come into her own and save the day. Rin does not save the day. Rin is there to make sure that everything goes down in flames. And her pledging to a vengeful, fiery god and channeling all that power and sinking into madness and addiction is just... This is a girl that had to make tough decisions. This is a girl that changed the entire map, the entire world. And she's just trying to deal with the guilt of it all. But yet that if the situation repeated itself and she was to make a decision, she will make the exact same choices, because our girl knows that in war, the only person who gets to tell their stories are the winners, not the losers. So I love that girl. I love her drive. I love her spirit. I love her mind. I love how morally grey she is. I love the decisions, the difficult choices she has to take, and the fact that we are aware that should we be in that same situation, we might have made a similar, if not the exact same choice. Like, Rin is the mirror, and sometimes the reflection you see, you don't really like it very well. And which leads me to my second favorite anti-hero in books, and that would be the second love of my life, Kaz Brecker from Six of Crows. Now, I know there are some people in this world who do not like Kaz, and all I can say is, really, you do not like Kaz Brecker. Like, Kaz Brecker. There is no accounting for taste. Anyway, I'm just joking, but not really. But how do I explain the fact that for you to really appreciate the character and the type of anti-hero that Dirty Hands is, the boy that will do anything for a price, the boy that believes that everybody has a price, the boy that rules the dregs, not with a tight face, but with smarts and charisma and just this deadly aloof air that controls the arbor, that has Ketterdam in the palm of his hand, that holds its secrets. To understand who he becomes, you have to appreciate where he's coming from. And where he's coming from was happy and then traumatizing. And at that point when he lets Georgie go and swims out of the arbor and Dirty Hands is born, you understand that Ketterdam is his mother, and every single thing he gives to that city is what the city has sold. And Kaz Brecker is nothing more than the living embodiment of, of the vices as well as the innate strength that is Ketterdam. At least that's how I see it. Talking about Kaz has been so emotional because This is a boy that has gone through hell and has gone through pain and forged a persona and an armor for himself. He's willing to do anything and everything because he has been at that point in his life when he's had nothing. He's cold and ruthless and dastardly because the city needs him to be so. And yet, he can be loyal even though he's not going to openly tell you that. I also appreciate the fact that, like every good anti-hero, Kaz is brilliant. That mind, the ability to strategize and think far ahead, several steps ahead of his adversary, that ability to keep them dumbfounded. From the very first time he shows up in Six of Crows at that parley with Jules, you know, and Jules plays his hands and you realize that Kaz has considered that, and you realize that Kaz has put in measures in place to tackle him at every point in time. When we get a glimpse of that mind, the way that dark, brilliant, dastardly mind works, like, I fell in love. Because, I repeat, to survive in Ketterdam, you need to be strong, you need to be ruthless, you need to be calculating, you need to be ambitious, you need to be brilliant. And you also need to take your morals and chuck it in the arbor. Because in a city where nobody is clean and everybody is dirty, it only makes sense that dirty hands would show up to get the job done at the right price. And you cannot really fault him for that. I'm just saying, you can't fault him for that. The third anti-hero I'll be talking about, at least from the books, is Margot in Here Comes the Sun. Now, this is, before I wrote her name down, I had to think twice about it because, like I mentioned in my review of Here Comes the Sun, Margot is difficult to like. If not because she makes some decisions that would have you hating her and detesting her and everything she stands for, but at the same time, you cannot help but respect her. Like, you hate her, but you respect her, because just like a lot of people on this list, Margot is a victim of her circumstances. But also, like a lot of people on this list, Margot makes a choice, an active choice to get out of her situation. And she doesn't care who she has to sacrifice, what toes she has to step on, who she has to leave behind, who she has to backstab and betray in order to get what she wants. And as much as I hated her, I understood her. And I respected where she was coming from. Everything she does to survive. Everything she does to reach our goals. And our goal is to get out of Montego Bay. And spoiler alert, she succeeds. Because she's Margot, a grade A bitch, and the ultimate anti-hero. So those are 3 of my favorite anti-heroes from books. And now we would move to 3 anti-heroes / heroines in K-drama. And the first for me, right off the bat, has to be Ibagwan of Six Flying Dragons. Now, how do I capture and describe my love for Ibagwan? Is smart, calculating, sly, earnest, vicious, cruel, passionate, a master strategist who will do anything to get what he wants. And Ibagwan wanted to change the world. And boy, does he do it. Oh, does he change the world. Even though he bathed it in fire and blood. It was a beautiful sight to see. What a beautiful sight it was, watching the way his brilliant mind calculated and strategized and put things in play in order to get the end result he wanted. And you could not look away. You just kept staring at the screen, wondering just how far he would go to get what he wants. And spoiler alert, Ibagwan doesn't have any brakes. He propels forward to achieve his end. And I found him spectacular. So what was Six Flying Dragons about? Six Flying Dragons was basically a 50 episode masterpiece that told us the story of the fall of the Goryeo era, which yet another spoiler alert, Ibagwan played a very crucial role in that. Just Google Pone and the Sonjuk Bridge in Gaesong and you'll find out exactly how fundamental and pivotal it was to the fall of the Goryeo Empire. So it basically tells us the story about the fall of the Goryeo Empire and the rise of Joseon, of the Joseon period. And even if it is that you've never watched any K-drama in your life, and if you like historical stories, and you have 50 hours of your life to give, because that's all you need. It's a 50 episode short, tight, epic masterpiece of a drama that will make you scream and laugh and cry, and you will not be able to look away, because those characters, especially Ibagwan, they will own your soul. If you get the chance to only watch one K-drama in your entire lifetime, let it be Six Flying Dragons. You will thank me. So the second anti-hero on my list is actually not really one person. There are multiple people. And I'm referring to the bad guys in Bad Guys. Yes, the K-drama Bad Guys. Because you see, in a show where the police decides to create a team made up of a psychopath, a mobster, a hired assassin, and a disgraced cop who always chooses violence to get his results. And, you know, the police decides to make this team, create this team of bad guys and have them catch other bad guys. Like choosing one anti-hero from this team of psychopath, mobster, hired assassin, crazy cop. Yes, from this team of 4 people is just impossible and unfair to every single one of them, because you have Park Won-cho, the mobster who took over Seoul's underworld in just 25 days by flattening every single thing in sight with his fists. Yes, Park Won-cho is like a tank. You cannot stop him. Tae-so, the clean, smooth, hired assassin who never gets caught and always gets the job done. Yes, I know you're wondering, what do you mean by never get caught, Nora? You just said that it was, you know, gotten by the police, which, by the way, all these people were in jail, except for the cop. And yes, the Korean police force released them in order to, like, just work with it. The drama works. You have to watch it to really understand and appreciate it. But so what was Tae-so doing in jail? You know, so that his services had to be employed. He turned himself in. The reason why, you will find out later on in the drama. It's pretty central and I don't want to spoil it for you, but when we find out, damn. And then there's Ogutak, who is kind of crazy, and I really mean that his grasp on his sanity is just very, very thin. Due to a personal tragedy he experiences. You would find that as well should you choose to watch the drama. Okay, so kind of crazy, sardonic, ruthless, cruel, odd, detached, vicious. Like, when it starts going, you'll be 100% sure and certain that there is no way that guy is a cop. Surprisingly, he is. And then finally, my baby, the love of my life, Lee Jung-moon, the psychopath, who is cold, unreadable, detached. And so you have these 4 men employed by the Seoul police in order to catch dangerous criminals, serial killers, rapists, you get the drill. And they put in their special skills to use in order to get the job done, and along the way find this bromance, this close bond, which was beautiful and interesting to watch, especially because sometimes you totally forget that they're anti-heroes. You get carried away with all the bromance things that are going on, and then shit hits the fan and you're like, ha, I forgot that you were a bad guy for a moment there. and then finally, Lee Jin-suk from Heartless City. Now, if you've seen Heartless City, you're probably wondering how the hell I made my choice, because Heartless City is a drama that basically focuses on the criminal underworld and the undercover cops that walk that thin line and exist in that space, trying to pin down criminal masterminds. And spoiler alert, some of the criminals are way more honorable than some of the cops. Crazy, I know. So why is it that in this drama that is chock full of anti-heroes and bad guys, I go with Lee Jin-suk? Because my queen is a madame running prostitution rings and dealing drugs, quick to attack a business rival and quick to get revenge on the man who tried to rape her friend. She doesn't blink an eye when one of her business partner murders the other business partner, and yet is so quick to bail a girl that would otherwise have been left to rot in prison. Like, she is unscrupulous, dangerous, loyal to those she deems worthy, and operates with her own moral code that is so riveting to watch. Like, Lee Jin-suk is in a class of her own, in a drama that is in a class of its own. And yes, so those are the 3 anti-heroes I would recommend from books. If you've not read any of the books I mentioned, check them out. Let me know what you think. And the 3 anti-heroes I recommend from K-dramas. Let me know if you've ever watched any K-drama, what K-dramas you've watched. If you're a fan of K-dramas, what would you say is your top 3 favorite K-dramas? I know that's tough because if I was to ask myself that question, I won't be able to answer because I have too many favorites. But let me know some of your favorite K-dramas. Who knows, I might be able to find something new to watch, because last year was not so good for me K-drama wise, and this year is not looking that up either. Memories of Ahlamara. Tragic. So yes, let me know what you thought about this video. I am certain it would be weird and all over the place. I'm still trying to figure out how my format will work, but this is what I have for now. I would improve on it as it goes further. If I seem a bit awkward, forgive me. It's because, like I said, it's just I'm trying to merge books and K-dramas, and my brain just keeps saying they don't merge, they don't merge. So let me know if I actually did a fairly good job. Let me know if there's a way in which I could have done it better. If you like this video, please do not forget to like it and subscribe. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I will see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.